What's going on, everybody? Rob here, AKA Trev2323, Trev2323. Subscribe, like, share, please. Okay. Yeah, I used to do my bedhead Sundays. Well, guess what? I got bedheaded at Sunday. I made some carnitas over there. I've been cooking a lot more lately. But this is a review on this toolbox grinder, 3-inch toolbox grinder. I always wanted a grinder, but basically just to sharpen my knives. There's some of my hobbies that I could use it a little bit more now for, but as you can see, I don't have my knife right here, so let me grab a knife. So this was on sale. This tool shop grinder was on sale for $30 at Menards. No, $34. It was on sale for $34 at Menards. But then they had anything you fit in the bag, you get 15% off. And this fit in the bag. Okay, now, if you have any questions, you gotta call that number right there. I really didn't. Oh, these are the parts for the shields. These are the shields that go on the grinder. So these are the parts for the shields. Okay. You know what a Dremel is? The little Dremel? Well, this is pretty cool because this little cord screws into the side of the grinder, right? And then you got a little Dremel tool that comes out the side of the grinder. So I have an actual Dremel, so I don't need this big cord. So I got an actual Dremel. But this is a Dremel too, so this is pretty cool because Dremels are $100 in themselves to get a Dremel. So for $29 basically, this is a Dremel, and you can buy all the Dremel accessories for this. Okay, I'm glad they got the stones on it. That's the thing right there, but here's one more thing. See? These are all your Dremel accessories that it comes with already. So it does come with Dremel accessories for your Dremel. This is just a little grinder, really, basically right here. So let's show you how this is gonna work. All right, get the plastic off. Ba-da-da-da. This is the piece de resistance. The piece de resistance, it does have the little feet. So you could screw it down on wherever you're gonna screw it down. Yes, this is just a tool shop grinder, but this is all I need. I don't need anything big. I don't need anything like that. More than likely, I hate dull knives. I really hate dull knives. In the kitchen, I got the one that goes, I got that one. Although I gotta buy a newer one because that's getting older. But a lot of my knives are sharp, so I wanted to get my knives to the basically new condition again. And then when you use the little sharpener, it'll sharpen. But they're to the point where when you sharpen them like that, they're really not doing nothing. So you got two different grades of stone, a really coarse grade and then a really fine grade of stone. You got your on and off switch, and then you got the speed control right here, the speed control. And speed control is going to be really good if you're using your Dremel. Okay, so for your Dremel accessory, all you do is, this is a square, so you got to make sure you put this into over here, the square, and then all it does is screw on. Now I'm probably not going to have this on all the time because I don't want this spinning all the time. Trying to get this Dremel screwed in. Here's a square on this end right here, and then there's a screw that screws onto the side of this. And I don't know why I'm fighting. I guess it's just for the video to get this on, because more than likely I'm not going to use this anyways because I have a really good Dremel. It looks like it's going in the opposite way. I guess reason is fundamental. It's a reverse thread, or is it actually being put on wrong? Well, I said I wasn't gonna leave it on. Guess what? I'm leaving it on. Okay. So here's the beep 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 to spin, and then this right here There's a big glass shield right here. See how sharp that is? Alright, these right here actually turned into boot knives. Alright, so they give you the little screws and everything. Now this right here, alright, I had to bring you in closer. I know you can't see me, but it is me. I am still here. I had to bring you in closer so you could see how I had to put this together, okay? So, these metal brackets screw on to the glass. I gotta tighten it all up. Now I put the screws where the heads of the screws are by the grinder, and the nuts are on the outside of it so nothing gets in the way here. Now they give you little knobs right here to adjust this plate to see if the plate goes. You don't want the plate rubbing the grinder, but there's two knobs so you could adjust the distance of the plate right here. Okay, I gotta tighten these up a little bit because you don't want them, you know, falling down on you all the time. And these plates adjust in and out this way. Okay, they do give you everything you need for the Dremel. Okay, I will honestly say I don't know if I just had my Dremel cross-threaded or not, but with the Dremel, let me show you, there's a couple tools in here for your Dremel. If you need to use this, like I said, I'm probably not even gonna leave this on, I'm gonna take it off. But this Dremel right here, you need this Allen key, but let me show you why. There's a hole in the handle that you can spin this, and this will go into the Dremel to catch it, to hold it. So then this way you could use your Dremel tool to open it up, and you have to put one of these chocks in here. One of these, because these are actually what grabs, these right here are what grabs your Dremel tools. So let me see. It's gonna go on the inside. Oh, there is one in there, so they give you extras because there is one in there. You see, that's on the inside of that. Okay, because these are what actually grabs your tools. So when you have your cover on right here, put that back on. Don't tighten it all the way. You put your tool in there, whatever you're gonna use. Then you tighten your Dremel tool up like that. Let's see. Is it grabbing it? It's grabbing it. This moved. I felt this move. You gotta make sure that stays in that hole, and then you tighten this. So now with Dremels, the most thing I use my Dremel for is the little tiny cutoff tool. You know, you try to cut something small and dainty with an angle grinder. I use my Dremel tool to cut that off. Okay, so you don't leave this on when you're just grinding because you don't want to bzz, cutting everything else. But now you should be able to turn this on. And see, you should be able to control the speed. Woo! But like I says, I have my own Dremel, so I'm not even gonna leave this on. Now you cannot leave this prepared like this when you're doing something else, because you don't want this to fall down and start scratching the crap out of anything. Okay, so let's take this off right here. That comes out. Tighten this up because you don't want to lose that when you're just using your grinder. Okay, so I'm gonna actually take this off right now because, well, like I said, I don't know if I cross-threaded it or what, but I'm gonna take mine off because I'm not this part of it. But for $30, come on now, dude. For $30, you get a Dremel and a grinder, that is a deal and a half. Okay, so I gotta tighten these up with a little screwdriver. Okay, but I wanted to show you this right here. Let me make sure you can get in there. All right, you get in there. Like I said, on this side. So when you turn this on right here, you don't even need that on fast. Low's fine enough. But then watch your hand right here. Look at that. Can you see that? That's all I wanted for, to do all that to my knives. Okay, now the difference in the bigger ones and the smaller ones, I'll tell you with this. Coming this way, it wasn't a problem. This is a very thick handle. See how the very thick handle? So coming this way, I had to get a different angle on it. And then if you had the bigger wheels, you're more free to go right here. But with the smaller wheels, I had to get a different angle on it to get it sharpened. But you see, it still did work. So I'm gonna go ahead and love this, play with this, and enjoy this. But now my eyes, it was I think $42 for the bigger one. So if you do have the bigger one and you got bigger knives, I think it'll be easier to sharpen the bigger knives with the bigger one than this one. But this has the Dremel kit and 2 3-inch discs, and all I use it for really to sharpen knives. There's maybe a couple times that I had to use it to grind down a little bar, a little piece of tube, a little angle iron to get them to weld better. But you know, I normally use my angle grinder for that, but now this is stationary where I actually have something else to work with. So I do love this. For $30, you could not beat it, especially with a Dremel. If you don't have a Dremel, the only thing I would say is when you're sharpening your knife, you could get it one way really good. Now this is a different stone, but it'll be, if you go this way and this way, you're golden. You're golden. This is not a solid, smoother stone as this one right here. So this one with the stone, you kind of got to go at a different angle because your little motor's in the way. Either way, 30 bucks. Well, it was $34 on sale plus $15 because it fit in the bag. I got it for $29. But, okay, so every knife in my drawer is sharpened right now. I do still have to tighten these down. These are loose. What I found out is sharpening the knives, this pink stone is the best stone. Okay, with this motor right here, you could control the speed, but if you push too hard on a knife, this motor is not strong enough to keep doing it. You'll slow down the motor. Even if you have this on high, if you're putting too much pressure, you'll slow down the motor. So you have to let the speed do the work for you and not pressure to do the work for you. I know that's with the body saws and the body cutters, and you try to push into them, you have to let the speed do the work. Just like this, you have to let the speed and not the pressure, because if you put too much pressure, you'll slow down the motor. Like I said, I took this off already, but if you don't have a Dremel for $30, this is well worth the price. The one thing is it's $10 more if you would get the bigger one. At this point, I would have preferred the bigger one, but this is going to do me fine. But I would prefer the bigger one, for one, because it would have the bigger motor for you. But for two, I know this block right here is going to be at an angle, because with my bigger knives, I was coming on an angle to sharpen my knives instead of just going straight back and forth. I was coming on an angle here. But all my sharp knives, I got to tell my wife, be careful with the knives. Every knife is extremely sharpened in that drawer. I mean, really, really, really sharpened. So I do love this. It's gonna serve my purpose because I hate dull knives when I cook. So this is perfectly gonna serve my purpose, because right now I'm using my little grinding stone, and this just makes so much easier work, right? So my review on this is, I would say like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. If you have the extra money, I would definitely go with the bigger one, but the bigger one does not go out with the Dremel. So if you feel you're gonna use the Dremel more for $30, this is a good price because I mean I use my Dremel. I use the little cutoff wheel on my Dremel pretty frequently. So, but I just don't need this Dremel here. But if you don't have a Dremel, this is well worth the price. But like I said, if you have bigger space in between your two stones, and the bigger stones stick out further than the motor, so it's easier to go back and forth both ways. So with this one coming in right here, the motor is almost even with the stone, so I had to come on an angle over here. I didn't use this stone at all to sharpen it. I just used this one. Now if there's a little nut or something that you got to try to smooth down or get on the angle, I would use this one. But for the knives, I use this one. All right, talk to you later. Subscribe, like, and share. Let me clean all this area up now.